محمد نعرہ تکبیر نعرہ تکبیر نعرہ رسالت نعرہ رسالت
یا رسول اللہ
نعرہ حیدری نعرہ حیدری نعرہ حیدری نعرہ حیدری بر خسنود امام الزمان بلندتر صلوات
اللهم صل علی محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحیم و به نستعین ثم الصلاة والسلام علی سیدنا و نبینا ابی القاسم المصطفى محمد. اللهم صل و علی آله الطیبین الطاهرین. Assalamu alaikum everyone. I pray that you are all well inshallah, and it's coming to an end. It's going so quickly, no? We're on the towards the end of the Ashra, the first 10 nights already, and this is the story of life, no? It happens so quickly, and as long as we gain something during the days and years of our life that passes, our soul would be happy. Yesterday in the Q&A we were talking about it. The soul has a system inside that looks at every period of life. And then it says, hope in this period, did I gain something, a spiritual lesson or not? If it said, hope, مثلا الان 1 year passed, I've gained this thing, it gives a check. And it says, you know what, this 1 year was spent good. If not, the soul will slowly keep telling you. Not like this, Ramasan, it's not like you're walking and you hear a voice, hello, I'm your soul. We haven't had enough lessons. No, you start feeling low. You start feeling not happy with life. You keep saying, I should have, masalan, done more. And many people are not careful. They think they need to gain more. Maybe if I buy another car, maybe if I do something. Now, John, the soul is telling you, I need more spiritual gains. That connection with God, that feeling of love from God subhanahu wa ta'ala, the soul will tell you. Many people in their 40s, 50s, they look back and they're like, Khob hala, I spent 40, 50, 60 years of this life that God gave me. What have I achieved? If the answer they give is that, Khob, I have a car, a house, so which are very important and beautiful, we should have all of that. But if that's all we have, the soul says, these were all for your body. What did you gain for me? Khob, the car, your body got into it. The house, your body slept in it. What did you gain for me? So the soul says, I'm not happy. I want more. And we should be very careful. Every moment of our life that we give, we need to gain something in return. Otherwise, God in Quran, it says, وَالْعَصْرِ إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ. Insan, humanity is in loss. Every moment of our life, we are spending the most precious thing we have, and that's our life. And what we get in return is so important. Allah, what we gain in return, spiritual things, it's not crazy things. Masalan, it could be that you spend a lovely time with your child. You spend a lovely time with your parents. Masalan, imagine you took 1 week off from summer, you went and visited your parents. Later on, when you look back at that week, your soul doesn't say, what did you gain? Your soul says, thank you. It was so nice. I spent some time with my parents. I felt connected. These are the things I'm saying. And when I say your soul wants connection to God, it's not a very difficult thing to understand. Something that your soul likes, spending time with your friends, spending time with your family, doing something nice for others. In these moments, your soul says, thank you. You gave me something that I appreciate. And it's interesting. We have ahadith, masalan, it says, if you go and visit your family members in love, that doesn't even count as your life. What does that mean? It means you didn't lose your life. You gave the life, but you got something more precious in return. Lovely time with family members. One of these places in which our soul will again not feel at loss, because the soul is always checking. I spend 1 hour, what did I get in return? One of these places is, for example, coming to a session like this if we are careful, if we are aware of what we are doing. And for an example, for the next 45 minutes, if we are all present and we give our soul the light of connection to God, the light of the beauty of religion and God, at the end of it, our soul wouldn't say, oh, you wasted my time. No, you would feel happy. So, inshallah, let's do that. Otherwise, it happens. I don't know if you've seen it or not. Sometimes, masalan, we watch 4 or 5 hours of a series to feel better, to distract ourselves. Masalan, we're bored, we're angry, we're like, let's watch a series. You watch 3 or 4 hours to feel better, by the end of it, you're like, oh, what did I do? You feel a little bit weird sometimes. That's sometimes your soul telling you, oh, 4 hours you took from my life, what happened? I'm not saying watching series is bad, though. But everything in its own place. If it's too much, your soul will tell you, oh, you took 4 hours of my life. What were we watching? Just stress and stress. Especially now that Netflix has learned how to keep people watching, always at the end of an episode, creates a stressful scenario so that we have to keep watching the next episode. So your soul says, mate, for 3 or 4 hours, you just made me go through stress after stress, stress after stress. And why did I gain at the end of it? Right? And it's very interesting. Poor thing, our soul is so innocent. Sometimes even when we watch stress on TV, it feels like it's going through stress itself. It cannot differentiate sometimes. Okay, that was just something that came to my mind to say. Let's recite a salawat with presence of heart. Tonight, we're going to continue the discussion we had on Dua Kumail, and inshallah, we try to benefit from Dua Kumail in learning how to handle life a little bit more. One of the things that I've been saying for the past few nights is that Ahl Bayt really expected us to understand ourselves. In fact, I received a question from one of the sisters. She said, what is the difference between the way of Ahl Bayt and some other ways of, for example, being a religious person? One of the main features of the way of Ahl Bayt is the respect and importance they give to insan. That's every single one of us. Yani I will show you, and I'm saying the way of the Ahl Bayt is the continuation of the way of the prophets that reaches its peak, because they keep building on top of each other. So tonight, Hassan, we're going to talk about this, and we'll address Dua Kumail as well. How do the Ahl Bayt see you, see us? How do some other people see us? According to this school of religion, which, as I'm saying, it's the continuation of all the prophets, just keeps getting better and better. Insan is very precious. The Prophet has a hadith that says people are like mines of jewelry. Insan is very precious. And they also say that insan, this precious soul that it has, will never lose its value. This is a very important point. This is the difference between the way of the prophets, the way of the Ahl Bayt, and other people who look at insan. They say, insan, your worth will never lose its value. You're always precious. Now, the only thing that can happen to an insan is that sometimes it may wrap dirt around itself. Yani, your core will never become bad. The only thing that can happen is that you may, stick dirt to yourself. This is very different to some people who look at outside and they say, oh, that's a bad person. According to prophets and Ahl Bayt, we don't have any bad person. We have people who are doing bad things. Asan, maybe what they're doing is very terrible. But they say that action never reaches their soul. Please pay attention. Masalan, imagine you have a very lovely diamond crystal worth probably millions of pounds, okay? Now, this diamond worth millions of pounds, imagine someone throws it in dirt and they keep piling dirt and rubbish on top of that diamond. Oh. Someone may say, oh, this is very dirty, right? But would there, and you would agree, but is there any person in the world who would say, you know what, let's forget about this diamond? You would say, no, mate, it's dirty, we'll go clean the dirt, we'll take it, it's millions of pounds. Wouldn't you do that honestly? And then imagine if there's a diamond here worth millions of pounds, but there's like a whole pile of rubbish on top of it. Believe me, there would be a queue here, people queuing to go get the rubbish out and get that diamond. Why? Because it's worth millions of pounds. The Prophet, the Ahl Bayt say, Insan, you're the same. Even if you go and do the worst things, even if you gain the worst qualities, all of these are like that rubbish or dirt which is on top of a diamond. At your core, you're always a precious diamond that never will lose its value. And as a result of that, there is never a point in which you should give up on yourself. Because no matter how many bad things you do, you can never change who you are. And who you are is a beautiful soul created by God. What the Ahl Bayt, what Quran teaches us is that there is nothing about the core of a human being that you can hate. Because baby, the body is created by God. Why should you hate your body? The soul given to you by God. What is there to hate? Can you have a soul that is bad? Soul is created by God. This is very important. Please pay attention to this. This is going to be so practical for your life. A lot of the times we look at people, we're like, nah, this person is terrible. This person has destroyed himself, no hope. We give on people very easily. Even sometimes we give up on our family. Nah, this child has been started masalan smoking, you're not my son. What happened? We gave up. And we said, Alan, this soul is corrupted. Ahl Bayt say, no. This is a soul who needs help. Just like illness. Masalan, if I get a virus, does that mean that now I'm a bad person? No, Alan, there's a virus inside me. Ahl Bayt sees sins, bad qualities, greed, anger, jealousy as the viruses that come and attach themselves to the soul. But they never damage the soul. The soul will suffer if all around it is virus, but the value of the soul never comes down. That's why Ahl Bayt never gave up on people. One of the things that we need to pay attention to is that imagine the story of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, for example, and Hurr ibn Riyahi. Who was Hurr ibn Riyahi? He's the commander in the army of the enemy, right? When Imam Hussein is in Karbala, Hurr comes and stops Imam Hussein. I have an order. You are not allowed to go to Kufa. He stops Imam Hussein. Imam Hussein says, we'll go somewhere else. We'll go to this. But no, you stay right here. Alon, a lot of people, if you ask them, imagine if you didn't know the end of the story. Alon, we all know what happened. Hurr returned to Imam Hussein. Imagine you didn't know that. Imagine you are there with Imam Hussein on that day. Hurr ibn Riyahi has come and says, Imam Hussein, I'm not going. He doesn't call him Imam Hussein. He says, you're not allowed. You stay here till order comes. Honestly, how many of us would look at Hurr and be like, this person needs to be burnt, destroyed, whatever. You stand in front of Imam Hussein, there is no hope for you. What does Imam Hussein see? Imam Hussein says, baby, there's a potential here. This is a soul. Yani, what we see is all the dirt in Hurr. What Imam Hussein says that, yes, there's a lot of dirt, but under that dirt, it's a diamond. Imam Hussein, in those few days that they're there, never gives up on Hurr, and Hurr starts seeing this. Maybe in all of those days, Hurr is looking at Imam Hussein, at the army of Imam Hussein. It's not an army, it's a family. He looks at the way these families treat each other, the love the father shows to his daughter, the way the brother has loyalty. He sees all of this. Something inside him slowly wakes up. Imagine who he is. This is a person who stood in front of his Imam. Terrible thing he did. You cannot undermine how great this is. Sorry, you cannot emphasize how great the mistake he did was. But still, there is something inside that slowly is waking up. And we know, finally, the diamond under the dirt decides that I want to come out. Enough of the dirt. Hurr decides to join Imam Hussein. And look now how Imam Hussein treats him. Imam Hussein says, as soon as now you remembered what you are, a soul created by God, and you want to let go of your shortcomings, dige hold your head high. Hurr comes towards Imam Hussein, he's very nervous, he's very ashamed. Obviously he's ashamed. But Imam Hussein says, no, irfa' ra'sak. I really want us to think what we would have said to him. Would we have allowed him to come back? Or would we have said, you're a disgusting person, Asan, get out. Dige alan, what's the point of you returning? By the time he returned, the gate was useless in the sense that he had already kept Imam Hussein's family there stuck. It had led to the fact that they were, Ashura was going to happen. So his return didn't change anything in that sense. But did Imam Hussein tell him any of this? Did Imam Hussein tell him, mate, it's too late. My Abbas is going to get martyred. Nemidunam, my Ali Akbar. No, Imam Hussein said, you decided to come. Irfa' ra'sak, hold your head high. How are they like that? This goes back to a deep thing inside them. The way they look at insan is different to the way we look at insan. According to the Ahlul Bayt, insan is a very precious soul created by God. And even if all its life tries to go away from God, all it's doing is that piling dirt on top of itself. But at any point, if it decides to come back, it can come back. And it will be beautiful. Imagine the diamond we were speaking about. If you take a diamond out of the dirt, you polish it a little bit, it's still very precious. And this is an understanding of insan that took so long for humanity to arrive at. Prophets have come. God has worked so much to show insan how special you are. And even some of the prophets weren't at this level, as high as they are, as amazing as they are. Masalan, you look at Prophet Nuh, amazing personality. At least I know I can never reach his level. Incredible person. He was patient with his people for 900 years. According to this, for a long time. He kept telling people, guys, let's not be harsh, let's not, he kept reminding them, you're a beautiful soul created by God. Let's end this way of life. Let's end greed. Let's end anger. They wouldn't listen. And it's not like they wouldn't listen and they let him be. No, they hit him. They would hit him till he would become unconscious. He would become conscious. They would hit him again. And for many years he was patient. But at some point he gave up. And he told God, I'm tired of my people. Prophet Yunus as well gave up on his people after some point. People were, and these are not nice people. These are people who, and if you look at them, you would give up on them as well, honestly. We sometimes cannot tolerate a person for 3 minutes. Our child comes and shouts at us like, out of my house. I'm telling you, for many years, they hit him and he was patient with them. Asan, we cannot even imagine how much love he had for humanity. Maybe someone comes and hits you, you love them. How is this possible? Because they knew how much a human soul is worthy. They knew this person's soul is created by God. They're precious. It's just they don't know who they are. They've forgotten. They think they're this body. And as a body, they act like an animal. They fight, they kill, So for many years, Prophet Nuh is patient with his people. Prophet Yunus the same. But at some point, Prophet Yunus gave up as well. Said, guys, these guys don't listen. I've had enough with them. Hala, what does God say to our Prophet in the Quran? He says, وَلَا تَكُنْ كَصَاحِبِ الْحُوتِ. In the Quran, God tells our Prophet, maybe Yunus was amazing, but he gave up on his people. Prophet, you don't give up on your people. Even though Prophet Nuh stayed so many years, Prophet Yunus was patient with his people for so many years, still God tells to our Prophet, you have to be even more patient with people. Because these are my creations. No matter what they do, you need to show them who you are, but they're precious to me. لا تكن كصاحب الحوت. Prophet Yunus gave up on his people. You don't. And this is why you see the person comes and throws rubbish on the Prophet. Does the Prophet say, God, I've had enough, curse these people? Prophet says, no. The day that he doesn't come, Prophet says, where is that person? They throw stones at Prophet. Does Prophet give up on them? Prophet says, no. In one of the battles, in that battle in which they killed Prophet's uncle, some of the very precious companions of the Prophet, his family. After the battle, someone comes to the Prophet and says, Baba, curse them dige. Look what they did to you. Look what they did to our friends. Prophet says what? إِنَّهُمْ قَوْمِ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. He says, Baba, these are my people. God has sent me to them to wake them up. They just don't know. They don't know what they are. They've forgotten who they are. And God has sent me to wake them up. So what's the point of cursing them? If I curse them, they go to the other world now. Imagine they die. So what's going to happen? A dirty diamond is going to the other world. We want to clean them here. We want to help them realize who they are. And this is very important. This is the core beauty of Islam and the way of the Ahlul Bayt. Because you see that the same love that Prophet had for humanity, the best place then you can see that is through the Ahlul Bayt. Person comes to Imam Baqir, starts swearing at Imam Baqir. Imam says, nah, I'm not. He called Imam Baqir, Anta Baqir, na'uzu billah. You're a cow. Imam says, no, I'm not. I'm not Baqir, I am Baqir. Very relaxed, very calm. So why are you not getting angry at this person? Why are you not shouting? Why are you not giving up on them? Why are you not resentful? He says, baby, this person doesn't know. He's a beautiful soul created by God. He's just forgotten his own worth. He's forgotten how special he is. And we have been sent here to wake them up. Imam Hussein says, in Ziyarat Arba'in, what do we read about Imam Hussein? وَبَذَلَ مُهْجَتَهُ فِيكَ لِيَسْتَنْقِذَ عِبَادَكَ مِنَ الْجَهَالَ وَحَيْرَةِ الضَّلَالَ. Imam says, Baba Hassan, I gave my life, I sacrificed my life to wake these people up. In one of the battles between Imam Ali and the people on the other side, they blocked the access of Imam Ali's group to water. They didn't give water to Imam Ali and his group. Pages turned. After a while, something happened, then Imam Ali's group had access to water. Imam Ali's friends were saying, okay, now perfect, now we get our revenge. We will block their access to water. Imam Ali said, no, this is not what we do. We don't disrespect insan. We will give them water. I mean, this is what makes them special. Nothing stopped them from believing in insan, the creation of God. Yani, we still don't know the sacrifice this family made to remind us, you and I, of how important we are, how special we are. Imam Hussein says, I gave my life so you guys wake up. خب. Now, I can talk about this for hours, but I want to link it to ourselves because I don't want you to think this has nothing to do with us. This is very much connected to our own life. I mean, Imam Hussein is telling even you and me, guys, even you have forgotten how special you are, how beautiful you are, and how beautiful the people around you are. Although sometimes I hear things, and it breaks my heart. Masalan, just recently I heard there were this couple. They've got married, both of them have a past. Okay? They both had a past. But they both, at some point in their life, decided, you know what, I want to live a beautiful life. I don't want to live a life that is not according to my own values. They both repented and said, let's come together in a beautiful marriage based on what we like, our families approve. They come and start a relationship. And after a few weeks, the husband slowly says, you know what? You've done that in your past. I want a divorce. And gets a divorce. Hope I'm like, baby, I'm not judging this person, but I'm saying if this is what you do, you haven't learned the basics of the Ahlul Bayt. What do you expect from this soul? What can she do? There's something in her past, she's repented. First of all, okay, you've done the same too. You both had done it. How come when you look at yourself, you think, yeah, I'm fine now? Hope that person repented too. Alon, what do you expect from this soul? This soul says, oh, I don't like my past. I want to become the beautiful soul I am. I want to live beautifully. I want to do the right thing. What other way does she have than marriage? If you can't see that now she's a different person, dige. People don't bring their past to their present. As I said, a diamond, when you wash that diamond, it's the new diamond, dige. But still, we haven't accepted that. Yani, still, our understanding of insan is not the same as understanding of Ahl Bayt from insan. God says, as soon as a soul decides to let go of its past and chooses beauty, that's it. It's like you had a diamond, it was dirty, now the diamond has washed itself. Dige, you're dealing with a diamond. If you still look at the diamond and see dirt, the problem is with your eyes. As soon as a soul repents, you're now dealing with the most beautiful thing in the world. Haven't you all heard that hadith from the Imam that says, even if you saw someone committing a sin in the morning, you can't judge them because maybe at night they repented. What does that mean? It says, Baba, you're dealing with a beautiful soul. No matter what they do, if they repent, as soon as they repent, you're dealing with God's special creation that angels did sajda on. Wasn't Hurr ibn Riyahi into so much dirt? He repented. And now we all come and remember him every year. Do you know how many Shias all around the world every year, for one night they come, recite poetry, remember Hurr ibn Riyahi now? How much respect we have for him. Baba, he's the one who stopped Imam Hussein, but Imam Hussein says, no. The moment he decided to stop, all of that is in the past. This is so precious. Yani if you knew how much the Ahlul Bayt, the Prophet, love you, respect you, honestly, you couldn't contain that joy. خب حالا let's bring it to دعا کمیل. دعا کمیل says, insan, the same, you're gonna find yourself in the same position. Yani, even inside yourself, you may find things you don't like. And this is going to happen to us very often. Initially, we may not accept it. مثلا, we may feel jealousy inside. مثلا, imagine as a lecturer, if I feel like, oh my God, that lecturer has more views than me. There may be jealousy inside me. Initially, we don't admit. Instead of saying, oh, I'm jealous, I may say, nah, his lectures are not good. He doesn't know Islam. All the ways in which we try to ignore that we have a problem. But if a person is honest with themselves, they're like, it seems like I feel something inside myself. Hala, it could be a jealousy. For some people, it could be an addiction. The past few nights, I'm getting so many questions, people saying, Sheikh, I'm addicted to an act I don't like. Past ببین, الان right now, you are finding a dirt inside yourself. And there are two ways of understanding this. Please pay attention. This is so important for parents, for the youth. How to deal with your children, how to deal with yourself. This is so important. Or let's say as a parent, you see your child is addicted to something. How should you see this child right now? Many parents come and say, Sheikh, this son is not my son. He's doing this. I'm like, what has happened? And the mom says, you know what? My son has come to me and says, Mom, I'm addicted to this act and I don't know how to stop. And then I tell that mom, so you're telling me you have a son who is so honest that came to you and said, Mom, I have this problem. I want to get rid of it. I can't. And you still think you have a bad son? This is a soul who sees something inside he doesn't like and he has come to ask for help. What else can he do? If you don't look at insan like the Ahlul Bayt, you would say, this is a dirty person. This is a bad person. But Ahlul Bayt looks at this child and says, no, this is a beautiful soul dealing with a virus, dealing with an issue. The person never becomes bad. They're dealing with a bad symptom now. We need to help them heal. The fact that he has taken the step to admit it, this is the most beautiful thing in the world. Imam Ali, in one of the du'as, I think it's from Imam Ali, I'll read the line for you, search it. It says, وَجَعَلْتُ الْإِقْرَارَ بِالذَّنْبِ إِلَيْكَ وَسِيلَتِي. The Imam says, God, I used my admission, my acknowledgement that I have an issue as a way to come close to you. Let me open this up for you. The Imam is saying, as soon as a soul admits there is something inside them they don't like, that's it. They should not feel shame. Not only they're not a bad person, in fact, this honesty will get them close to God. وَجَعَلْتُ الْإِقْرَارَ بِالذَّنْبِ. Oh God, I put the fact that I confess to this shortcoming I have. إِقْرَارَ بِالذَّنْبِ إِلَيْكَ وَسِيلَتِي. This honesty that I showed, through this honesty about my mistake, I will come towards you. خب, حالا imagine your child is going through a problem. You are going through a problem. We all are. You get angry, you may lose your patience, you may be scared, you may feel insecure, you may have desires you are ashamed of, you may have thoughts you are not happy. And by the way, first of all, okay, you're not alone. Let me tell you that. Without God's light, insan is like this. Many people tell me, Sheikh, I am disgusted by myself. I'm like, what has happened? Says, Sheikh, I'm doing this. I'm the only person in the world who's doing this. I'm like, do you know why you think that? Because people don't tell each other these things. Believe me, you're not the first person who's going through this. And you're not going to be the last one. You're not disgusting. You are a beautiful soul dealing with a problem. There's an issue. Yes, I don't like it as well, what is happening, because it's hurting your soul. I'm not saying the action is good. No, the action is bad. The action will hurt you. If you're not careful, the action will even ruin your relationship. Even that thought in your head. But that doesn't mean you're a bad person. It just means that you need to go towards God. You need to allow the light of God to come to your soul and heal it from these problems. Just like a diamond with dirt around it. You need to wash your diamond. How do you wash your soul? By remembrance of God. By going towards God. Allowing the light and love of God to come to your soul. You will heal, believe me. And then when you allow God to come inside, you were the kind of person who couldn't stop you doing that act. Believe me, when God light comes inside you, you will be so beautiful that you cannot even imagine. I am not faking this for you all. If you don't believe in this, I would say, go and try to get the people who are addicted out of their addiction. Let me see how you can help them. There is no other way than this. I am working with people. The only way a person can get themselves out of an addiction, and addiction can be to anything, even your anger, even if losing your patience, the fact that you can't enjoy life, and the clearer forms of addiction. All these shortcomings we have, there's only one solution: to go towards God and allow the love and light of God to come to your heart. So that you inside remember who you are, how special you are, that God threw from His own soul into you. وَنَفَخْتُ فِيهِ مِنْ رُوحِي. This is why Imam Ali says the only way a person will get rid of their shahawat is to understand how important their soul is, to have karamat of nafs. This is Imam Ali. He says there is no other way for a soul to raise above their shahawat, to their desires, to their thoughts, unless at the time they look inside and they see their dignity. They see they're special. So if you have a person that is dealing with a problem and you tell them, you're a terrible person for doing that, you are going against Imam Ali's prescription, because you're making them feel worse about themselves. The way is to remind this soul, Baba, you're so special. Angels did sajda on you. You think you're weaker than this one small desire? You think you're weaker than your fear? You think you're weaker than your anxiety? You think you're weaker than your waswas? You don't know yourself. You can be the most beautiful creation of God. You can be the most strongest, the kindest, the most patient, the most courageous person in the world. You just need to realize who you are. Your problems are way smaller than you. The only problem is that now you think you're small too. So, the prescription of the Ahlul Bayt is to remind insan is special. How is insan special? Because insan is the princess of this universe, the prince of the universe. Insan is that place in the world in which God said, I want to put my own soul, Khalifa of me. The way to remember this is to go towards God and get His love. Again, Imam Ali alayhi salam, Ilahi lam yakun li hawlun fa'antaqila bihi an ma'siyatik illa fi waqtin ayqaftani li mahabbatik. God, I have no strength. Please pay attention to this. God, I have no strength to use to remove myself from my shortcomings, from my mistakes, unless in the time you make me feel loved. Imam Ali is saying this. Lam yakun li hawlun. There is no other way to be good unless to be connected to God and feel His love. And the good thing is, baby, if we wanted to talk about this 1,000 years ago, it was very difficult for me to explain it to you. But believe me, as Shias, we did such a poor job that even now the world of psychology is saying the same thing. many of you know دیگه, I'm a children's psychotherapist as well. One of the things that is very clear if you worked with children is that if early on in their life no one has given them love, later on they can't understand empathy. Yani for us, in order to be able to have empathy for others, not to hurt them, not to bully them, not to do something to them, we needed to receive love. And you know, most of these criminals, they become in the news and you're like, it's a murderer or fulan. If you look back in their childhood, it's not like they chose to be that way. Honestly, did you any day, wake up and said, you know what? I don't want to be a murderer. I want to be a nice person. Honestly, did you ever choose that? Did any of us ever decide, nah, I think I want to be a kind person. I think I want to have empathy. Baba, you have empathy because someone showed you love. And I can clearly see it. If a child was in a family that was abused, it is so difficult for them to learn empathy. You need to receive love to be able to give it to others. This is what we're seeing. This is what science is saying. And we didn't understand Imam Ali's prescription for so long that now it's so clear. I mentioned this story for you a few years ago. There was this person in prison, terrible criminal who had done a lot of nasty things. I'm not saying what he had done was right. He had done many bad things. But a priest goes to prison to seize him. The priest puts his hand on his shoulder. And he says, do you know, no one in my life ever touched me with love? This is what happens to a soul that doesn't receive love. The reason we haven't reached to that level, it's not that we're so awesome. It's that, alhamdulillah, people were in our life that through them God gave us love. Really check yourself. Those days in which you're not getting a little bit of love, you become so grumpy. Haven't we all hurt our family members? This is what I've been saying for the past 2 nights. We shout at people, we break the hearts of people we love. What are we showing? What is the universe showing to us in all of this? God is saying, baby, the difference between you and that criminal is just that you had received more love. But look at you, even you shout at your child. You shout at your mother, how? You shout at your wife, how? Why? No one ever was in love and did something wrong. In that moment that they feel love. No one ever shouted and they felt loved. No one ever felt love and was jealous. No one ever felt love and was insecure. Anytime, honestly, in the relationships, one of the partners feel insecure. What does that mean? I'm worried I may lose the love I'm getting from my partner. Anytime we get jealous, what are we saying? Maybe that person is worthy of love. Honestly, if you're in love, would you ever be jealous of someone? If you feel loved, would you ever feel insecure with your partner? If you feel loved, would you ever be shouting at someone? Imam Ali says, Insan, all of your issues goes back to this. You have forgotten who you are. You're a beautiful soul created by God who loves you so much. The moment you feel that, the moment you go towards God to feel that, believe me, from the lowest of the low, you can go to the highest of the high. We saw that with magicians of Pharaoh. We saw that with Hurr ibn Riyahi, and we've seen that so many times. And so now I want to also ask us, I'm reminding myself too, I'm not an exception. From today, whatever challenge you're going through, don't think that makes you a bad individual. No, you're going through it's a bad action, a virus. What is that a sign of? You need to go towards God. And believe me, this will solve any problem you have. You don't need to keep asking different questions. Sheikh, anxiety, this is it. Addiction, this is it. Fear, this is it. Anger, this is it. Insecurity, this is it. I have thoughts about people I'm ashamed of, this is the answer. Whatever you're going through, all you need is this connection with God. Imam Sajjad in Munajat 15. إلهي من ذا الذي ذاق حلاوة محبتك فرام منك بدلا. God, no one has ever tasted the sweetness of your love and then wanted anything else. امام حسین دعا عرفه یا منا قلوب المشتاقین. ببین, what the Ahl Bayt teach us is that God, this connection with God, this remembrance of who you are through that connection with God is all your soul is seeking. And when it doesn't receive this, in that gap in your heart in which God love hasn't arrived, all sorts of other things will grow. Our fears, our naughty desires, our fantasies, our addictions, our anxieties, our grumpiness, all of these grow in the corners of our heart where God's love hasn't reached. Imam says, go towards God. You will feel so amazing. You will feel so great. And you will remember who you are. Believe me, we've forgotten who we are. You know what are we like? We are a person whose father and mother are the richest person in the world, and they're holding a bowl going to people begging for money. God says, everything you're looking for, I've given you in your own heart and soul. One day you think you can get your happiness from this person. One day you think you can get it from a car. One day you think you can get it from a job. Everything you're looking for is inside you. Hala, once you find how special you are, once you find God inside, then even external things will be more beautiful. Once you find God inside, you realize, oh my God, everything outside is also helping you through God. Find God inside, life becomes so different. Life becomes so beautiful. Hala, how can we get there? At least a few moments tonight. Talk to God and ask Him for this. You want other things? Sure, ask for them as well, but not initially. 2-3 moments, maybe 30 seconds. Tell God, God, Alon, 30 seconds, I just want to ask you for this thing. I want to remember who I am. Am I really a special soul? Am I really a gem? الناس كمعادن الفضة والذهب, the Prophet said. You are like a mine of gold and silver. Am I really like that? Help me feel that. God, help me feel your love. 30 seconds. Allah, after this 30 seconds, مثلا ask for other things. God, I don't know, I want to get that job, I want that house, I want shifa. All of that, it's okay. But for 30 seconds, just focus on this. And if it didn't change your life, it will. Believe me, it will. Hope, I think I spoke for so long. These nights we are remembering people who, through their actions, try to wake us up. And they showed us how beautiful insan can be. And so, if there's any night in which we can make this change, going from wherever we are right now to being the most beautiful person in the world, it's a night like this. We are remembering a person who helped Hurr go from the lowest to the highest in one moment. And he can do the same for us. He can help us the same. So tonight, ask for this, and may inshallah God enable us to join these people who realized how special they are and connected to God. May inshallah enable anyone who's going through any difficulty to find that courage and strength to go through it. May God bless the soul of all our loved ones who are passed away and elevate their status. And may God, inshallah, accept from us this small session that we had. Please recite the salawat.
اقتربوا مني يا قتلة المؤمنين، اقتربوا مني يا قتلة أولاد البدريين، اقتربوا مني يا قتلة أولاد رسول رب العالمين وذريته الباقين. أنا برير وأبي خضير، ليث يروع الأسد عند الزأر، يعرف فينا الخير أهل الخير. أضربكم ولا أرى من ضيري، كذاك فعل الخير في برير. والله يا ابن رسول الله، لقد من الله بك علينا أن نقاتل بين يديك وتقطع فيك أعضاؤنا، ثم يكون يدك شفيعنا يوم القيامة.
جزاك الله خيرا يا برير.
يا برير بن خضير، كيف تجد الله صنع بك؟
صنع الله والله بخيرا، وصنع الله بك شرا.
كذبت وما كنت قبل اليوم كاذبا. هل تذكر وأنا أماشيك في بني ذودان وأنت تقول إن إمام الهدى والحق علي بن أبي طالب؟
أشهد أن هذا رأيي وقولي،
وإني أشهد أنك من الضالين.
هل لك فلأباهلنك، ولندعو الله أن يلعن الكاذب وأن يقتل المبطل، ثم اخرج فلأبارزنك. اللهم العن الكاذب وليقتل المحق المبطل.
اللهم لعن الكاذب وليقتل المحق المبطل.
أنا برير وأبي خضير، وكل خير فله برير.
أين أهل المصارع والدفاع؟
السلام على برير بن خضير. فإنما تبعتنا طلبا للعافية، فلا تبتل بطريقتنا.
ابن رسول الله، أنا في الرخاء ألحس قصاعكم وفي الشدة أخذلكم. لا والله، إن ريحي لنتن وحسبي للئيم ولوني لأسود، فتنفس علي بالجنة فيطيب ريحي ويشرف حسبي ويبيض وجهي. لا والله لا أفارقكم حتى يختلط هذا الدم الأسود مع دمائكم.
قم يا جون، بارك الله فيك ونصرك على أعداء دينك. نعم، قد أذنت لك بالقتال.
إنه جون مولى أبي ذر، صاحب أمير المؤمنين، ثم الحسن والآن مع الحسين. اهجموا عليه! كيف ترى الفجار ضرب الأسود بالمشرفي القاطع المهند؟ أحمي الخيار من بني محمد، أذب عنهم باللسان واليد. أرجو بذاك الفوز عند المورد من الإله الواحد الموحد. تقدموا! كتيبة من 25 فارس جندلة، تعطفوا عليه من كل جانب. هل من مبارز؟ هيا تقدموا! اللهم بيض وجهه وطيب ريحه واحشره مع الأبرار، وعرف بينه وبين محمد وآل محمد.
أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. الله سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. بحول الله وقوته أقوم وأقعد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. الله أكبر كذلك الله ربي. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم إنا نسألك بجودك أن تدنينا من غربك وأن توزعنا شكرك وأن تلهمنا ذكرك. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر، الله أكبر. سبحان ربي الأعلى وبحمده. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. الله أكبر. الحمد لله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد، وتقبل شفاعته في أمتي وارفع درجته. بحول الله وقوته يقوم وأقعد. الله أكبر. سبحان ربي العظيم وبحمده. رب صل على محمد وآل محمد. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. سبحان الله، سبحان الله، سبحان الله. الله أكبر، الله أكبر. سبحان الله، سبحان الله، سبحان الله. يا لطيف ارحم عبدك الضعيف. الله أكبر. الحمد لله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدًا
إلهي بحق شفيع الأنام، بحق النبي وآل النبي الهداة الكرام، بحق علي المقام، بحق الكساء ومن بالكساء، بحق البتولة خير النساء، بحق النبي، بحق الوصي، بحق الزكي، بأم الشهيد وأخت الشهيد، بحق الشهيد المعفر في كربلاء. إلهي بزين العباد وباقر علم التقى والرشاد، بجعفر، بموسى، بمن في خراسان يهدي النفوس بباب المراد، بحق الجواد وابن الجواد، علي الحقائق للناس هذه بالعسكري، إمام رضي رفيع العماد. إلهي بحق الحبيب الذي لا نراه ولكن تغلغل فينا هواه، يمر على حينا كل حين فتشهق أرواحنا من شذاه، بحق الدموع على وجنته بحق الدعاء على شفتيه، بحق هموم الرسالات تبكي بحزن على كتفيه، بحق اصطبار حسام الفقار إلهي ودمع الإمام يسيل على إلهي أعني وثبت فؤادي على حب حيدار. وفي يوم يظهر إمام مظفر خذني إليه نصيرا وعبدا، ودعني أموت هنالك حبا بقلب تربى وهام وشبى بحب النبي وآل النبي وصهر النبي. إمام